A lot of people have been wondering whether or not their G1W or G1W-C or G1WH is genuine or not. So there's a couple different ways you can figure out if your camera is actually real. By fake, what people mean is it uses a cheaper, older processor and it only records in 720p. The genuine one will have full 1080p, 30 frames per second, and it'll record in .mov. The fake ones will record in AVI. At least from all the reports I've read, it's always AVI in the fake ones. If you haven't seen my videos before, you'll probably wonder why mine looks like this. I actually took mine apart and spray painted the front and that black, and this piece. So mine's gonna look different than yours, but this is the G1W-C model. One other way to tell if yours is real or not is on the side you should have an HDMI port. So I'm going to go ahead and take this memory card out. And the sure way to figure out if yours is real or not is to check the processor. Now, checking that isn't exactly the easiest thing, but in this video I'm going to show you how to take it apart and check that. So first of all, you're going to need some sort of prying device like this metal ruler. It's very thin. And then you're also going to need a small electronic screwdriver. So what I did is I started popping this open right above the power button. Hold on. Gotta use this side where the foam isn't there. You start popping it up and make your way around. Mine's probably going to be easier than any of yours because I've done this several times now. Oh. Alright, so you get it open, and there's going to be a few cords that you'll have to detach. First of all, the little light is right here. There's 2 screws. One in each corner. And I'm going to use a little ring to keep them contained. So you can pull that out. This part, it was actually glued in originally. Mine doesn't have the glue anymore, but you can just pull it right out actually. You can see some residue of the glue. And you don't have to take any of this apart, obviously. So at this point, there's going to be 4 screws on the motherboard that you have to disassemble, one in each corner. So I'm going to go ahead and take all 4 of those out. Have a bit of issue with this one. Okay. It's important to note that the screws that go into the motherboard and the screws that go into the little flash, the light, it says it's an IR light, but it's not really an IR light. But the screws that go into the light circuit are smaller. This one is one of the 2 that holds the light in, and then this is one of the 4 that holds the motherboard in. All of the little ports sort of get in the way, so you're going to have to pop it up a bit. Oh, and by the way, your camera might not have this. This is the G1W-C, so this is the capacitor. If you have the regular G1W or the G1WH, you're going to have a battery with a clear yellow film over it as opposed to this one. And it's a little bigger than this. Pardon the meowing cat. Okay, so this might not be the best method, but what I did is held the lens by its base, and on the HDMI side I sort of pulled down on it. And you gotta get the ports to pop out also. Okay, so at this point you should be very careful with what you're doing. When you flip the monitor over, you'll see where mine had tape over it, so I had to scratch that off. But there you can see the NT96, sorry, it's not in focus, 96650. That's the processor you want in the genuine product. So if you have anything that is not the NT96650 processor, then it's not technically the genuine one. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to get this back in. And as you can see, I got some dust and fingerprints on that, so I'm going to get a cleaning cloth to wipe all that off and make sure it's clean when I get it back in. Okay, so getting this back in, you obviously got to make sure you're getting the right side into the right, the right side into the correct side. So you need to be pretty careful, unlike me right now, as I'm trying to do this with a camera in front of my face. But this should all line up just right. So ideally, once you get it into place, and actually you shouldn't be touching any of that with your bare fingers, but I guess I forgot about that. Once you get it into place, make sure the buttons are all clicking. That's a good indicator that you have it in place. At this point, we're going to go ahead and put the screws back in. So I got all 4 screws in. So now we got to put the speaker back in, which you can just press in. And then we have the light. You want to make sure this part is facing down. And you'll be able to tell just obviously by the fact that the main holes will line up. This is actually the reason why my front lens is, the border is all scratched up, is because it's been rubbing up against this table. But at this point, you just want to make sure that the cables wrap around in a good location. And then snap everything back together. You can see actually where oh, that's not snapped in yet. You can see where I've damaged it a little bit. That was from using the metal ruler. So one last test we're going to do is make sure it's still working. There, you can see it turned on. Nope, wrong side. And it's recording. So I hope this video can help you test whether or not your G1W or varying model is real. I know there's been a lot of concern about that because the counterfeit or fake ones don't have very good video quality. So if you're absolutely concerned about finding out the truth about your model, remember, check to see if there's an HDMI port. The real ones should record in the MOV format, and then the processor should be the NT96650. Thanks for watching.